Chelsea Football Club, though not among the oldest clubs in the world, commands a massive global following, particularly in Africa. In Africa today, Chelsea ranks among the most fervently supported European clubs. Fans come together at viewing centres to passionately back the team on match days, feeling a spectrum of emotions from exhilaration and joy during victories, to sadness and heartbreak during difficult times. This passionate support is passed down through generations, contributing to the continuous growth of Chelsea's fan base across the continent. The extensive fan base in Africa includes prominent figures such as singers, politicians, actors, and even clergymen. In 2017, following Antonio Conte's successful first season with Chelsea, winning the Premier League title, a church in Accra, Ghana's capital, organised a Thanksgiving service for the club. Congregants adorned Chelsea jerseys, and the pastor led them in singing the club's anthem, "Blue is the colour." Speaking to the BBC, he expressed his intent to harness football's influence to discuss spiritual themes, saying, "I wanted to use the power of football to talk about God." But this deep connection wouldn't have been possible without the impactful contributions of past African legends who played for the London club.
Drogba's up there, Kalou! Goal! That's more like it. And on the volley, it's Essien. Oh my word! 5 minutes from time. It's Obi Mikel. Can you believe it? Selling in front of goal. Although here's Babayaro. Can he finish? Emphatic style from Celestine Babayaro.
Since its establishment in 1905, Chelsea FC has had players hailing from various African nations such as Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, Egypt, Burkina Faso, Liberia, Uganda, DR Congo, and Senegal. African players have been part of Chelsea since the 1950s, but only a select few like Didier Drogba, Michael Essien, Mikel Obi, Celestine Babayaro, George Oppong Weah, and Salomon Kalou have significantly raised the club's profile in Africa, attracting numerous fans to support Chelsea. Chelsea's popularity in Africa gained momentum, particularly when South African players began joining the club during the decades following 1950. South Africa was among the first countries on the continent to embrace football. In fact, the earliest recorded games in Africa took place in South Africa in 1862, involving soldiers and civil servants. Football clubs were already forming in the country before 1900, and today, Savages FC in South Africa stands as the oldest African football club still active. This early football history contributed to South African players being among the first from the continent to attract attention from European clubs. Chelsea's presence in Africa was first felt when Ralph Olofse of South Africa became the first African to play for the Blues, making his debut in their 1-0 win against West Bromwich Albion on March 1, 1952. Born in Lichtenburg, South Africa, Olofse appeared in 8 matches for Chelsea during his 2 seasons with the club before transferring to Watford. This milestone helped raise Chelsea's profile among Africans, who at the time had relatively few football enthusiasts, and most of these enthusiasts in Africa followed established clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester United, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, Ajax, and Nottingham Forest. 15 years later, another South African, Derek Smethurst, joined Chelsea from Durban City FC and later moved to Millwall after 3 years. Smethurst made history as the first South African to win a European Championship when Chelsea secured the 1970-71 European Cup Winners' Cup. Additionally, he became the first foreign-born player to win a European Championship while playing in England. Colin Viljoen, originally from Johannesburg, joined Chelsea 9 years later from Manchester City, but was released in 1982 after making 6 appearances for the club. Following him, Pretoria-born Roy Wegerle bolstered Chelsea's attacking lineup for 2 years before moving to Luton Town. In 1993, Mark Stein, who was born in South Africa but grew up in London, joined Chelsea for £1.5 million from Stoke City. During his time at the club, Stein set a Premier League record by scoring in 7 consecutive matches from December 1993 to February 1994, a feat only surpassed in 2002 by Ruud van Nistelrooy. Stein tallied 24 goals in 60 appearances for Chelsea before losing his starting position in the 1996-97 season due to the arrival of new strikers Mark Hughes, Gianluca Vialli and Gianfranco Zola. But to this point, their fan base in Africa remained scanty. The significant rise began with the arrival of Nigerian teenager Celestine Haisieth Babayaro, affectionately known as the African Roberto Carlos, in 1997. He joined Chelsea from Anderlecht for a then-record transfer fee of £2.25 million for a teenager. Babayaro, a pioneering figure for Nigerians at Chelsea, spent 8 years at Stamford Bridge, playing 132 league games from 1997 to 2005 and scoring 5 goals. His arrival sparked a surge in Nigerian support for Chelsea, as fans were enthralled by their new star player. But Celestine Babayaro left just as things were getting interesting at Chelsea. However, the Nigerian left-back won the FA Cup, the now defunct Cup Winners' Cup, the Super Cup, and the FA Charity Shield, now the Community Shield, before moving to Newcastle United. 2 seasons after Chelsea signed Babayaro, they further bolstered their African connection by bringing in Oppong Weah on loan from AC Milan. Weah, the 1995 Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year winner, added to Chelsea's appeal among African fans, particularly in Liberia, where he was a national hero. Despite being past his prime at 33 years old, Weah made a significant impact during his brief stint at Chelsea, scoring 5 goals and providing 1 assist in 15 games. However, Chelsea's manager at the time, Gianluca Vialli, opted not to make Weah's move permanent. Subsequently, on August 1, 2000, Weah left Milan and joined newly promoted Premier League side Manchester City. Joel Kitamiriki, originally from Kampala, Uganda and raised in London, was with Chelsea from 2001 to 2004. During his 4-year period at the club, he only featured in 1 match and spent most of the time on loan before being transferred to Mansfield Town. After Roman Abramovich took over as owner of Chelsea in 2003, the club experienced a significant surge in followership. During this time, Chelsea's connection with famous African players deepened notably. Cameroonian defender Jeremy Njitap became the second signing of the Abramovich era, following Glenn Johnson, and he was the first player from Cameroon to play for Chelsea, expanding the club's popularity and support base to Cameroon. Claudio Ranieri was sacked after Chelsea's first season under Abramovich, and the man who replaced him, Jose Mourinho, was a man who became known for his affinity for African players. Mourinho once expressed, "To be honest, I love the guys, and I feel that the African player is very loyal and very pure." Under Abramovich's ownership in the early years, Chelsea acquired several African players such as Didier Drogba, Michael Essien, Salomon Kalou, and Obi Mikel, who featured in Mourinho's star-studded squad. They rewarded the trust placed in them by the Portuguese manager by contributing significantly to breaking the Arsenal-Manchester United dominance. Together they achieved back-to-back Premier League titles, the FA Cup, League Cup, and the Community Shield before Mourinho departed for Inter Milan. Didier Drogba is arguably Africa's most successful player to ever wear the Chelsea kit. In July 2004, he made a historic move to Chelsea from Olympique Marseille for a club record fee of £24 million, becoming the most expensive Ivorian player of his time. His arrival at Chelsea under Jose Mourinho marked the manager's 5th major signing, joining the likes of Paulo Ferreira, Petr Cech, Arjen Robben and Mateo Kezman. Didier Drogba's impact at Chelsea proved pivotal, establishing him as one of the greatest imports in the club's history, with an impressive record of 164 goals in 381 appearances, securing 3 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups and the Community Shield. His crowning achievement came in the UEFA Champions League final of 2012, a defining moment in his career. Facing Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena, Chelsea trailed late in the match, seemingly destined for defeat. However, the powerful striker showcased his prowess on the big stage by scoring the crucial equalizer in the final minutes, forcing the game into extra time and ultimately to a penalty shootout. With nerves of steel, the Ivorian striker scored the winning penalty, clinching Chelsea's first Champions League trophy in dramatic fashion before leaving the club. After brief spells in China with Shanghai Shenhua and in Turkey with Galatasaray, Drogba made a return to Chelsea in 2014. His leadership and contributions were instrumental in securing another Premier League title and League Cup victory. In total, Drogba won 4 Premier League titles with Chelsea, 3 League Cups, 4 FA Cups, the Community Shield, and the Champions League during his illustrious career with Chelsea. Michael Essien, nicknamed the Bison by fans for his powerful and fearless style of play, made a significant impact at Chelsea after signing on August 19, 2005, for a then-record £24.4 million fee from Olympique Lyon. At the time, he became the most expensive African footballer in history, sparking immense support from millions of fans in Ghana and across Africa who followed Chelsea closely to witness their hero in action. During his 8.5-year tenure at Stamford Bridge, Essien made 256 appearances for the club, scoring 25 goals and providing 20 assists. With Chelsea, he won 2 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, the League Cup, the Community Shield, and the UEFA Champions League. Obi Mikel was another African midfield monster. His transfer to Chelsea was marked by controversy, as Manchester United initially claimed to have secured his signing. Sir Alex Ferguson believed he had secured the talented Nigerian's commitment in 2006, even going as far as having him pictured in a United shirt. However, Obi Mikel eventually chose to join Jose Mourinho at Stamford Bridge instead. He was with Chelsea for 11 years, finishing his career as one of the club's most decorated players. He achieved 2 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, a League Cup, a Community Shield, the Europa League, and the UEFA Champions League. Similar to Celestine Babayaro, Mikel arrived at Chelsea as a young player full of promise. His tenure at the club also coincided with a surge in followership from Nigeria, as millions of fans grew attached to Chelsea while closely following their Nigerian superstar's career. Salomon Kalou joined Chelsea on May 30, 2006, from Dutch club Feyenoord, for an undisclosed fee, estimated to be around £9 million. At the age of 20, the Ivorian arrived with significant potential, and joining his compatriot Didier Drogba, it significantly boosted Chelsea's fan base in Ivory Coast. During his 6 seasons with Chelsea, he won the Premier League, the FA Cup on 4 occasions, the League Cup, the Community Shield, and the UEFA Champions League. Since the club was formed, Chelsea has welcomed a total of 18 players who have represented African countries. Beyond their on-field contributions, the influence of African figures extends to off-field roles, exemplified by former Nigeria international Mikel Obi. Emenalo's journey from chief scout to assistant first-team coach and eventually to Chelsea's technical director underscored his pivotal role in overseeing key signings such as Thibaut Courtois, Mohamed Salah, N'Golo Kante, Eden Hazard, and Cesc Fabregas. More recently, Chelsea has appointed former Nigeria international Seyi Olofinjana to a talent management position focusing on Africa, further solidifying their commitment to nurturing talent from the continent. Additionally, the club's success in prestigious tournaments like the UEFA Champions League, Europa League, FA Cup, and English Football League Cup has undoubtedly contributed to the exponential growth of their global fan base, including a significant rise in supporters from Africa.